You're going to come along with us as we experience Shenandoah National Park in all of its glory. That was one of the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Honestly, that might be the hardest technical hike I think we've ever done.
Kind of fun.
It's a word.
We got all set up here at our site at Big Meadows Campground, and before we go explore, I have to get something off my chest. This is confession time with Caitlin. I grew up about 90 miles away from this national park, and I have explored very, very little of it. In fact, I had so much anxiety when I was researching what to do in this park because I was like, I should know more about this. I've driven tiny sections of Skyline Drive. I've done maybe 1 or 2 hikes. So you're gonna come along with us as we experience Shenandoah National Park in all of its glory. Located just 75 miles from Washington, D.C., Shenandoah stretches 105 miles from north to south, nestled in the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains. With over 75 scenic overlooks along the famous Skyline Drive, 500 miles of hiking trails, including 100 miles of the Appalachian Trail, 2 visitor centers, 4 park entrances, and 5 campgrounds, it can be a little overwhelming to plan a visit. In today's episode, we're focusing on the Big Meadows area, Skyland, and Old Rag, showing you a range of easy and hard hikes, beautiful overlooks, and of course, where you can find delicious food both inside and outside the park. For our first 2 days, we camped at Big Meadows Campground, which is kind of in the middle of the park. Reservations must be made ahead of time online for Big Meadows. There are over 200 campsites that are dry camping only, however there is a dump station and fresh water fill just outside the campground. This is about 15 minutes away from our first hike of the trip, located in the Skyland area of the park.
We're getting ready to do the Stony Man Trail. Shout out to the ranger at Canyonlands who actually recommended this trail. It is a 1.6 mile round trip. We're actually going to be going on part of the Appalachian Trail, just short section. We're not going to be through hiking on it. And then from there, we'll be going along the Stony Man Trail until we get to the viewpoint. This is apparently one of the most beautiful viewpoints for sunset. We reached this split. There is a post with a very small little sign that indicates which way you're supposed to go. But there are trailblazers, and the one for the Appalachian Trail is white. The one for the Stony Man Trail is blue. And they're kind of like next to each other. It's almost like when interstates merge together, like here in this area, 64 and 81 merge together for a brief period of time and then they separate. Well, that's what just happened here. So you want to follow the light blue trailblazers or the little tiny sign that's on the post.
There's only about 320 feet of elevation gain on this trail, but I feel like most of it is at the very end, the last 0.3 miles to reach the summit. It's also a little smoky right now, so I think that's making it hard to breathe. There is a wildfire over near Old Rag Mountain, and we could definitely see the smoke driving in.
It's pretty smoky. Oh, this is kind of neat though, because you can see how the ridge lines smoke.
Yeah. You looked very ethereal.
Thank you.
We made it back down off the trail. We did bring headlamps in case it got too dark. I'm so glad that we got to do that. That was one of the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen. And I was sitting up there telling Howard, like, I can't believe I spent my life up until I was 32 years old here in Virginia and never came up to watch the sunset like that. It was spectacular, and I was really worried about the smoke, but it actually kind of added to it and I think made it even more like dynamic. It was gorgeous. This is a must-do. My face is frozen right now, so we're gonna go get some hot food and listen to some live music right at Skyland. The Stony Man Trailhead is adjacent to Skyland Lodge, where you can find great dining and accommodations. We had an awesome dinner at the restaurant here. I had short ribs, Howard had campfire trout. Both were delicious, and for dessert, you have to try the signature blackberry ice cream pie topped with fluffy meringue. It was incredible. Tourism in this area of the park dates back well over 100 years. The original Skyland Resort opened in the late 1800s, before Shenandoah National Park was even established. It was marketed as an escape from city life and flourished for years until day trips to the park became much more common, but you can still stay overnight here in the cabins and hotel rooms the lodge offers. We came back in the daytime to explore a little of the grounds since there are still several original buildings in the area.
For the remainder of this video, Caitlin will be pronouncing everything because she's from Virginia, and Virginians just don't quite pronounce things correctly for me.
Some examples. The name of this national park. A lot of people don't know how to pronounce Shenandoah. There is Massanutten Lodge, which Howard just called Massanutten, which prompted me to say, why don't you let me handle this? There are other names like Botetourt County, there's Parham Road, and none of those look how they are pronounced.
Thanks, Caitlin.
During certain times of the year, ranger programs giving guided tours and access into some of the buildings are offered, so make sure you check the calendar of events during your visit.
I just learned that there is a mathematical equation that determines how at least Shenandoah National Park determines whether a hike is easy, moderate, strenuous, or very strenuous. So it's the square root of the elevation gain times 2 times the distance in miles. So the example that they give is a 10-mile hike that gains 2,200 feet of elevation. If you do the math on that square root, you get to 209.8, which means very strenuous. I had no idea this was mathematical. I thought, honestly, it was just like
It's hard.
5 out of 6 rangers agree this is a pretty tough trail. No, there's math to this. Kind of blows my mind. Come on, Caitlin, let's Botetourt to the Math Newton.
Oh my gosh. I'm making this Virginian's heartbreak.
No, I said Botetourt right.
Oh, you did.
Didn't I?
Kind of. We stopped at the visitor center at the Big Meadows area where we're camped and wanted to get the lay of the land. Skyline Drive has dozens and dozens of pull-offs and overlooks that you can stop at. So we asked the volunteer what some of the highlights were. So we have a highlighted map with some of his favorites and a game plan for the day. And Howard is also investigating right now if there is an audio guide that we can download for Skyline Drive and Shenandoah National Park. What'd you find?
Well, I was successful.
Woo!
Unfortunately, we only have the west coast of the Guide Along pack, so I had to buy individually this one. But this is from Guide Along, which is our favorite of the tours. It's not sponsored in any way. We love the audio tours.
Guys, we found some fall foliage colors that are left. We were so hopeful that there would still be a lot of bright color here, and because we're staying up in higher elevation, a lot of those leaves have dropped already. Shenandoah National Park does a live broadcast on their Facebook page every Thursday and kind of gives updates and conditions of the park. So we knew coming into it that there weren't going to be a lot of leaves up there, but the lower we drop in elevation, there's still some good color. Additionally, there is smoke from a pretty large wildfire nearby. There's 184 acres of that wildfire within park boundaries, so that's causing some issues too for us seeing those bright pops of color that are still here, but it is still pretty.
The tunnel over my shoulder is only 12'8". RVers, are you listening? It is 12'8". We are just south of 211, which is one of the main ways in order to get into Shenandoah National Park. So, if you are intending on camping like in Big Meadows, like where we're staying, you need to come in from the south of 211, meaning 33 or one of the other entrances to the south. If you come in from the north and you're taller than 12'8", you're about to have a big problem.
We spent the afternoon exploring more of Skyline Drive with our audio guide and also exited the park near the Thornton Gap entrance to grab a bite to eat at Off the Grid. This is another great find for delicious food in the area. They partner with local farmers to source their ingredients and even grow some of their own on site. Save this spot if you're planning to visit Shenandoah. It gets 2 thumbs up from us. We're taking the show on the road today and heading to a different section of Shenandoah National Park.
That's right, because Old Rag, the trailhead, is on the eastern side of the park, different area. There's no direct road that connects between the two. So we actually have to go up to 211 and kind of make a big U-turn. And we're going to get to take advantage of our Harvest Host membership.
Yeah, if you don't know what Harvest Host is, it's one of our favorite things because you can stay at breweries, wineries, farms, you get to try out local craft beer.
Golf courses.
Wine, yeah, all kinds of
museums.
Stuff. Yeah, it's a fun place.
We've stayed at some really amazing places thanks to it. But there happens to be a winery that's really close by to the trailhead, so that's where we're going to be staying tonight.
Yeah, because Virginia has a very extensive wine culture and wine region here near Shenandoah National Park. Yeah, we're going to attempt to hike Old Rag Mountain tomorrow. That's one of the most popular hikes here in the park. It's definitely much more challenging than the Stony Man hike that we took you on. So we'll see, because the fire is over in that area of the park. So I'm just not sure how the smoke is going to be there, and I need to check the park alerts just to make sure that they haven't shut down the trailhead or anything like that. They've been battling this fire for several days now, and it just keeps growing.
A welcoming chocolate gift.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that nice? So they gave us directions, but basically we're just going to be on the other side of the vineyard.
Awesome.
And then we can walk right over to the tasting room.
I'm so excited. And this is beautiful out here. Whether you're visiting with your Harvest Host membership or just looking for some great Virginia wine, we highly recommend Ducard Vineyards. The views are beautiful, the tasting room is cozy and inviting, and the wine was excellent. They offer red, white, or mixed flights, and we even got to sample some of their specialty wines. We loved sipping and snacking as the sun sank over the mountains. We made it to the Old Rag parking area, and on weekends this place fills up, so much so that they have an overflow parking area. We're here on a Monday morning and it's not even half full, so I'm feeling very good about the amount of people that will be on the trailhead. Because this is so popular, the Park Service now requires tickets or reservations like several of the other very popular areas that we've seen throughout this tour. All you have to do is go onto recreation.gov and purchase your tickets. They're $1 each and they have several hundred each day. Again, it's going to be harder to get those weekend tickets, but if you can come on a weekday, that's the way to do it.
Well, it's time. We're about to attempt the most technically difficult hike we've ever done. And this also has, according to this, a very strenuous, which as we learned, that is the most difficult, and there's a mathematical equation, but most of that is because there's 2,300 feet of elevation gain on this hike. It's a 9-mile hike.
And there's smoke.
And there's smoke. So we're going to keep monitoring the situation with the amount of smoke. If we start to really feel that our breathing is labored, not just because of the elevation gain, but because of the smoke, we're going to be taking a lot of breaks. And if it turns out to not be safe for us to do the entire hike, we'll turn back around and head back down. But up ahead, Caitlin, is, I think, one of, by far, the most difficult things we've ever done.
All right, let's go. We're 15 minutes into the hike and it's already a workout. The initial climb is very steep. We're on like this ridge line right now, so we're gonna try to pick up the pace, keep up some time while it's flat.
All right, Caitlin.
Yeah.
It is not too late. Do you want to still continue this way, which is up the scramble, and is one of the most legendary and most difficult hikes anywhere on the entire East Coast? Or plan B, do we go down this way, which takes us down to an old fire road, and then you do not have to do any scrambling, you can still get to the summit? Okay, I am feeling pretty good right now, and I think that for all of our viewers, we should sacrifice. So we're doing it for you guys. Yeah. And continue on. I think we can do it. I was just thinking back about all the different hikes that we've done this year, and knowing that we have a big rock scramble coming up. Remember the hike in Guadalupe Mountains? Yeah. And those boulders? That was really challenging. Now, it didn't quite have the same elevation gain that this one does. That one was also really hard because there weren't very clear trail markers. There weren't blazers. This one is very easily marked. Again, it's so popular, it has to be. So yeah, I'd say I'm choosing this way. What do you think? Are you gonna go back and I'll see you in a bit? No, how about, what if you take this way and then I'll take this way? Then that way, see, then we're showing both sides of it. Right, unfortunately though we only have one camera, so I think you're stuck with me. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's do it. This is definitely a trail that if you're doing this in the fall, you're gonna wanna bring layers. This morning I think it was like 47 degrees, and as we're climbing, it's heating up. So I'm gonna take a layer off, but I wanted to show you a super cool shirt that our friends at the Bridge Walk at New River Gorge gave us. And this one has a dog on it, and in his sunglasses you can see the bridge. Isn't that fun? They let us pick out whatever we wanted. I've got a really cool one that has a camera on it. So if you haven't watched that video, go watch it because I conquered some major fears on that bridge. Getting rockier. I wasn't expecting this part of the trail to be as steep. I was just looking at the elevation chart. We've already gone up several hundred feet and we're only halfway up. So we have a long way to go with the elevation. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's about to get much, much steeper. I think we're making great time. Let's see. All right, it's 10:46. I'm hoping that we can summit by noon. That is my goal because that will have been 3 hours up. R18.
Yeah.
So from here on up, there are markers with numbers on them to indicate rock numbers. So in case something happens and you need to get help, you say, I'm at R18.
I didn't know that.
And then they know that's where you are on the trail.
Smart.
Also, that means that we have reached now the point where things are going to get tougher. So you can either slip and slide up this rock. I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Unless you're that little kid who did it with.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Or you can go in between these two rocks. That's what I'm going to do. So here I go.
Yeah.
Here, do you want to hand me the bag?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. What to do? Okay, now you climb up.
Yep. Okay. Let me put this
Yeah.
here. Man, this is just our first one. No problem. Easy breezy. Yeah, so kind of lean against that wall like I did, and you should be able to step up. Yep. You got it. Look at you. Like a rock star.
Definitely a full body workout.
Yeah.
And that was, yeah, first one.
First one. Now, I have no idea how many are left, but
Wow.
yeah, let's just quit. No, let's keep going.
No, because we have to go all the way back down.
No. We got this.
Beautiful. Can you get on your butt?
So you grab here.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Whew. Ow.
Not bad.
Yeah.
What's the problem, Galen?
Well, we have to go down, but it's a long ways down, and I don't see any easy step or anything. There's a little step right here for your foot. Yeah, I just need something to hold on to.
Still really far down from there?
Short.
Really? Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, really? Right? Okay, here you go.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so one. Oh. Well, at least it didn't fall all the way down.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And ta-da. Good job.
It actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
So it's kind of like a slide.
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Then what?
Sorry. I'm seeing a pattern here. Like you go ahead, figure this out. Walk yourself down.
Yeah. Okay.
You good?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not that bad.
No, the bag made it
No.
harder. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's a little tunnel.
You're gonna go there and then left.
But down and then
Yep.
Ooh. Holding it up.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
It's like a jungle gym. See?
Whew.
I'm just gonna keep stepping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks worse than it is.
You say so. Okay.
What'd you do, Kaylin?
Oh boy, oh boy. I elbowed the rock, which I don't recommend doing. Oh.
You alright?
Yeah. So is it skinned?
No.
No, okay. Oh, that hurt. Okay, let me stop throwing bows.
Oh, the rock is gonna win
Every time.
every time.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I recommend not doing what I did. Okay. Come on, back. Oh, but you're stuck in the rock. Funny. Good job.
Thank you.
One hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready?
Can you give me?
Yeah. Okay.
This is very slippery.
Okay. Okay, we're almost to the summit, and that was so challenging, but also super fun. And there was a big sense of like camaraderie with the other people that we ended up being around. It's like you were helping each other, lifting bags or guiding and saying, hey, I put my foot here. Very fun, very hard. If you're going to do this, you have to have the proper footwear, and I would recommend bringing as small of a bag as you can, because some of those crevices that you're scurrying through, you have to take the bag off. It's just very, very narrow. Got it?
Yeah, I know. Just like I said, it's like aerobic fatigue right now.
Okay.
Nice job.
That was a good one.
Good job. High five.
Whew. And then, yeah, kind of use your arms to...
Slide.
Yep. It's kind of fun.
It's a word.
We did it.
What time is it?
Stand by. 12:30.
12:30, okay.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Oh, good job. Okay, my love, how does it feel to have summited one of the most challenging hikes on the East Coast?
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Honestly, that might be the hardest technical hike I think we've ever done. We've scrambled before, but nothing like that.
No, that was a full body workout. You're using your upper body, you're using your lower body. Like, we're gonna be sore, I think, for days after this.
Yeah. What a view, though. And I'm so relieved that there wasn't any smoke, actually.
No,
I mean,
it's doing a good job of staying up. We can definitely see it.
we can see it, yeah.
But you can't really smell it. The wind was in our favor today. I'm so glad that we had a chance to do this. It was so fun. Like, as hard as it was also really fun.
What a bucket list item.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we were finally able to check this one.
It's funny you say that, because as we were hiking up, I was so glad we were doing it, but I'm like, you know what? I've checked it off. I don't think I'll ever need to do it again. That's just me, though.
Okay, so now we're gonna take the old fire road back down.
Yeah, which we would highly recommend doing. We saw, I think, 2 people going back the way we came, and they were definitely seasoned hikers and knew what they were doing. I think that would be way too challenging for our skill level, so we're gonna take the easier route back. Everything hurts. Everything.
It's the final countdown, Kayla.
Yes, and we're going to another harvest host tonight. So we have some hopefully good food and good wine in our future. Eye on the prize. Oh.
Good job.
Made it back to the parking lot. 6 hours round trip. I can't feel my lower extremities.
All right, well, let's go get some Indian food.
Very proud of us. That was hard.
As you can see, we are not in Virginia anymore. We are now at the conclusion of this year's National Parks Tour.
And what an amazing year it has been. Stay tuned, because there is news coming up on more national parks, but we just wanted to kind of reflect on what an incredible year it has been. We went to 34 national parks. Some of my favorites, let's see. I loved horseback riding in Bryce Canyon. That was definitely one of the top things that we did. The hoodoos and the colors, it was all just such an amazing and incredible experience.
Well, for me, a big highlight was eating, as in eating at Glacier National Park, where we had phenomenally good food. And you know, and I think about the number of parks that have dining in them, and most people don't think of a national park as a great place to eat. I mean, the fact that you can get escargot in Yellowstone. Did you know that?
And while we're recapping and reflecting on this year, we want you to think about what some of your favorite parks were. What was one that surprised you? Drop it in the comments below. So we would love to hear your perspective on this. I think another park that really blew me away that I really liked was Pinnacles National Park in California. I loved hiking in those caves. That was such a unique and cool experience. And for somebody who does get a little claustrophobic, it pushed me outside of my comfort zone, and it was just a standout memory from this year for me.
Well, speaking of outside your comfort zone, New River Gorge and doing the walk across that bridge at over 850 feet above the river. Caitlin, I'm really impressed. I think that you really pushed yourself and you did it. And I didn't know if you were going to be able to do it, but you did it. Another California park that was a surprise for me was Channel Islands. I was so glad that we got to do that. It feels like one of those parks that is a little bit of a hidden gem, kind of like some of the other California parks, actually. There's several California parks that have pretty low attendance, but are great alternatives. But yeah, with Channel Islands, getting to see the island fox and getting to experience an ecosystem, it's almost like the Galapagos of the United States. That was such a phenomenal experience.
Yeah, it really was. California does have some incredible, I mean, they have, I think, 8 national parks.
Yeah.
Redwoods was a big standout for me. Like, when I think about holistically all of our episodes, Redwoods was a really special one for me. I thought that the state park ranger and the national park ranger were both so incredibly passionate and shared so much wonderful information. It was also a park that I was like bummed about the rain at first, but then as we were exploring, the rain added to that ambiance, and it truly was magical, and I just love how that episode turned out.
And what about Lassen Volcanic? Because, Lassen, another California park that, if you want the geysers and everything of Yellowstone, but you're not crazy about the crowds, come to Lassen. Lassen has all of those things and very light attendance in comparison.
But it really is hard to like narrow down. People ask us all the time, like, oh my gosh, what's your favorite park? What's a park you didn't like? And it's impossible to answer those 2 questions. Every park has something special. That's why it's a national park, right? And it's just been amazing to be able to share all of these parks with you all this year, learn from the people who are there on the ground, and we just can't wait to continue taking you along to more national parks.
Yeah, so speaking of that, look for an announcement from us in the new year, because the parks tour is not over. We'll have more parks to share with you next year. So look for details on that. So we're gonna soak up the sun down here in Florida and take some time off, and we hope you do the same as well. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. We're gonna see you again, but not till January.
Yes, and we will have some very exciting RV related news coming up too.
Including our RV and what's going on with that. Very exciting news. You won't want to miss it.
Well, have a wonderful Sunday evening, and we will see you again in 2024.
See ya.